Before we start, just a quick reminder to hit that subscribe button. Only 2% are subscribed. At 1,000 subscribers, I'll be posting a special video. So who's walking you down the aisle tomorrow, Megan? The pastor stands in the middle and looks straight at me. Everyone turns at the same time. My throat locks for a second and my hands go damp. I am Megan, 26, and this is the moment I wrecked the script. My fiancé waits at the front with his hands in his pockets. My mom whispers something to my stepdad and nudges his arm. He steps toward the aisle like this was already settled. He even smiles, that confident little smile he wears at family photos. He thinks he is the obvious answer, and honestly most people do. Well, he clears his throat and lifts his chin. I assumed it was me, right? A few people laugh and someone claps once near the front. The pastor raises his notebook and waits for me to nod. My chest climbs into my neck and I hear myself say no. It comes out small at first and he actually grins wider. He thinks I am joking or having some pre-wedding meltdown. I force myself to speak again before I lose my nerve. No, I answer while my chest tightens. My brother will be the one walking me. The laugh drops off his face like someone hit a switch. My mom jerks her head toward me so fast I hear it. She takes one step forward like she can still fix this. What are you doing right now? Her voice is tight. My fiancé shifts his weight and studies the floor between us. The pastor looks from me to my stepdad and back again. Okay, he tries to sound light and the word cracks. So maybe we should talk this through in private. No, my voice comes out louder and shakes on the word. My heart is punching my ribs, but my feet stay planted. If I walk this back now, I know I never will. My stepdad stares at me like I just spoke another language. His hands move to his pockets, then cross over his chest. Hold on, the easy tone is gone from his voice. You want your brother instead of me. Every head in the room swings toward us like a slow wave. I know exactly what they see. The man who raised the girl and the ungrateful bride. The good guy who showed up and the daughter making drama. I can feel the judgment rolling over my shoulders in waves. I also feel something else push up under the fear. I already asked him, my voice steadies a little on that. I want him to walk me. My stepdad laughs, one short rough sound that holds no humor. After everything I did for you, his jaw works hard. It feels less like love and more like a bill. My mom reaches for his arm and he pulls away from her. Megan, sweetheart, just let him do it today. Her voice trembles on my name. We can talk about everything later. Later means never in our house. All three of us feel that truth hit. The pastor lowers his notebook and glances toward the door. He clearly wants to vanish, and I do not blame him. My fiancé finally looks up and meets my eyes across the aisle. Do you want a moment alone with them? His voice stays careful. I shake my head because a moment is exactly how I lose. My stepdad takes a slow step closer like I might run. We planned this for months and I was part of that. His voice scrapes on the last word and he swallows hard. You are really doing this to me the night before. It sounds like I just canceled his entire life on a whim. I wish you would yell because the quiet hurts more. His eyes are bright and wet and locked on my face. Part of me wants to apologize and let him stand beside me. Another part remembers why I cannot hand him that place. Only one of those parts gets to control my mouth tonight. I am not changing it. My fingers dig into my bouquet. You are invited and I still want you there tomorrow. You just are not walking me. The words land between us like something heavy on the floor. He stares down at that invisible weight and his shoulders sag. For a second, I think he might actually step back and accept it. He does not back down at all. If I am not walking you, I might not come at all. A ripple moves through the room and someone mutters under breath. My mom makes a sharp sound like she just got punched. My stomach twists so hard I have to lock my knees. You do not mean that. My mom grips his arm tighter. She turns on me with that hard look she usually saves for strangers. Look what you're doing to him right now. She spits the word ruining like it has a taste. Everyone pretends to study their shoes, but they are all listening. Maybe I am ruining everything we tried to hold together. Maybe I am blowing up the only version of family we had. I feel that thought buzz through my head like a trapped fly. But under it there is a quieter, stubborn voice. This is one thing I am allowed to choose for myself. The pastor clears his throat again and tries to sound official. Do you want us to run the walk through with your brother? He is not even here, my mom snaps before I can answer. He does not care like we do, he barely shows up. That part stings because there is a grain of truth inside it. He will be here tomorrow, I hold on to that like a rope. And he will walk me then, we can rehearse without him now. My stepdad lets out a slow breath that sounds almost like a laugh. This is insane, he shakes his head and looks at the pastor. I am done with this for tonight, he turns away from us. He walks up the aisle alone while everyone watches in silence. No one stops him and no one says a word in his path. The doors swing shut behind him with a soft, heavy thud. I have the sudden urge to run after him and drag him back. Instead, I stay where I am and feel my cheeks burn. Rehearsal limps on without him because it has to. We practice the music and the standing and the fake smiles. Every movement feels clumsy, like I am wearing someone else's life. My mom keeps her distance as if I might infect her. My fiancé squeezes my hand once but does not push advice. When we finally break, everyone moves in slow, confused clusters. Little pockets of whispers form and shut down when I walk past. Someone pats my arm and tells me I must be so stressed. Another girl asks if I am sure I am okay for tomorrow. I nod because I am tired of hearing my own voice shake. Outside in the parking lot, the air hits me like a slap. My brother leans against his car, scrolling through his phone. He missed the scene and has no idea what just happened. He looks up and grins before he sees my face. The smile falls off fast and he straightens his back. What did I miss? He studies me like I might crack. You are walking me tomorrow, the words come out flat and fast. He blinks twice and pushes off the car with a small frown. I thought your stepdad was doing that. Not anymore, I already told everyone inside during rehearsal. He lets out a low whistle and glances toward the building. You really dropped that in front of the whole crowd. Yeah, I feel the weight of it settle on my shoulders. Are you okay with it? I hate how small that sounds. He nods once and pulls me into a quick rough hug. You sure this is what you want? His voice is quiet now. Because once we walk tomorrow, there is no rewind. I stare at the entrance where my stepdad stormed out before. My stomach flips again and my eyes sting, but I do not move. I am sure enough to live with it, the words taste like metal. The car door slams and my shoulders jump hard. My stepdad gets behind the wheel without looking at me. My mom climbs in slowly like she's stepping on glass. No one reaches for the radio, no one says anything. The silence feels louder than the rehearsal ever did. We pull out of the lot and the seatbelt digs in. I watch the road rush past and try to breathe slowly. In the mirror, his eyes flick up, then cut away fast. He grips the steering wheel so tight his knuckles stand out. I wait for him to speak first because I know it is coming. Did that feel good? His voice finally cuts through the quiet. He does not raise it, which somehow lands harder. Blindsiding me in front of everyone like that. My mom exhales through her teeth and squeezes her purse. I stare straight ahead and my mouth goes dry. I told you earlier this week, my voice comes out rough. I said I wanted my brother to do it. You mumbled something, I thought you were stressed. His laugh sounds sharp, nothing like his usual friendly one. You waited until tonight to make it real on purpose. That hits because part of me knew exactly that. Dragging it to the rehearsal forced everyone to see it. Forced me to stop backing down and pretending I would cave. I swallow and shake my head even though he cannot see. It was real before tonight, you just ignored it. My mom twists toward me and grabs the edge of my sleeve. How could you do that to him in front of people? Her eyes shine and her voice wobbles on each word. He walked you into every big moment in your life. That is how you repay him, by cutting him out now. I almost laugh because that version of the story is perfect. The devoted stepfather, the girl he lifted out of abandonment. I have heard that script so many times it plays automatically. Family members, teachers, neighbors, everyone has repeated it. It always ends with the same line, that I am lucky. He drums his fingers on the steering wheel and glances back. I took on a child that was not even mine. His voice gets tighter with each word like a rope. I never treated you like anything except my own kid. And you humiliated me like I was some babysitter. The word humiliates me too, just in a different direction. I picture the pastor watching us, trying not to stare. I picture my friends shifting around awkwardly behind us. All of them grew up hearing how amazing my stepdad is. Tonight I turned their nice story inside out in public. You are not some babysitter, my throat aches while I talk. No one thinks that about you, not even me. Could have fooled me, he mutters and lets out a breath. I was supposed to walk you, everybody knows that. I already told my coworkers, my friends, everyone. There it is again, the audience he cares about so much. The people at his job who call him a hero for stepping up. The guys from his softball team who slap his back. They post comments on his pictures, call him Father of the Year. They only ever see the highlight reel, never the outtakes. I am the one actually getting married tomorrow. The words tumble out before I can polish them. I get to decide who stands beside me at the start. My palms are slick and I rub them on my dress. I can feel his anger thicken the air between us. My mom jerks around again, this time fully facing me. You know how many things he sacrificed so you had everything. She counts on her fingers like she is doing math. College savings, vacations, new cars, all of that. You act like none of it matters because of one decision. I bite back the urge to snap something cruel and final. I know exactly how many receipts they keep tucked away. Tuition, braces, sports fees, every swiped card shows up in fights. They never say it when people are around, only in private. That is the part no one on Facebook ever hears about. He wanted this one thing, she pushes, voice getting louder. Just this one big walk with you, after all these years. That is not one small thing, I answer and my jaw clamps. You can spend thousands of dollars on a wedding. But you still only have one person at your elbow. No one talks for a full block and the tires hum. Streetlights glide over the dashboard and smear across our faces. He lets out a harsh breath and shakes his head hard. Everybody always told me I did right by you. I guess they were wrong, I guess I wasted my time. That cut straight through my stubbornness, I feel it land. Because the truth is nasty and complicated and not clean. He did do good things, more than I ever asked for. He also made me feel like a project, not a daughter. Trying to hold both realities at once makes my chest burn. You did not waste your time, my voice drops almost to a whisper. You helped me, you were there a lot, I know that. Apparently not where it matters, he shoots back without pause. That walk was supposed to be us, everyone knows that. Now I am just some guy in a seat like everyone else. We turn onto our street and my stomach knots again. Every house looks calm and normal, like nothing exploded tonight. He pulls into the driveway and kills the engine in one motion. The sudden quiet is almost painful after his rapid words. No one reaches for the handles because no one wants to move. My mom brakes first, pushing her door open with a huff. She is not thinking straight, we will sort it out later. She tosses the line behind her like a promise and a threat. He steps out more slowly and slams his door harder. I stay inside a second longer, hands clenched, heart racing. When I finally step onto the driveway, the air feels heavy. He walks ahead of me toward the house without slowing down. My mom hurries after him, calling his name in a low rush. They disappear inside while I stand there like a guest. I already feel the divide between them and me widening. By the time I get to the front door, voices spill out. She is pleading with him, telling him I am under pressure. He snaps something about not being anyone's doormat anymore. His footsteps pound down the hallway toward his room. She turns as I enter, eyes flashing like she is ready to fight. You go fix this, she orders and points toward the hallway. You knock and you tell him you did not mean it. Her chest heaves and her lipstick is smudged at the edge. You know how much he prides himself on being your father. You shattered that in front of everyone who admires him. I am not lying to him just to make everyone comfortable. The words shake, but I push them out anyway. He heard me, he knows what I meant, I was clear. He thinks you're punishing him, she fires back instantly. And honestly, that is exactly how it looks right now. She's not wrong about the optics and we both know it. If you drop into the story at the rehearsal, I look awful. You would see a man who swooped in when another left. You would see him helping with bills and school stuff. Then you would see me ripping away his big moment. She moves closer and lowers her voice like we are conspirators. Think about tomorrow, think about the pictures forever. People will ask why your stepdad is not walking with you. What are you going to say? That you just felt like changing? The question hangs between us like a dare I cannot dodge. I will tell them I chose the person I wanted. My reply sounds stubborn even to my own ears. Maybe I am stubborn, maybe I am being unfair, I know that. She studies my face like she is searching for the old me. The version that went along, smiled, kept the peace for Ev. Orion. Then do not come crying when he pulls back from you. Her voice cracks on pulls and it almost breaks my resolve. He is hurt in a way you cannot just patch with a speech. She turns away before I can answer and walks down the hall. Her shoulders dip once, then square like she is choosing a side. I stand alone in the entryway while my phone buzzes nonstop. Group chats light up with rehearsal photos and excited messages. I open one and see my stepdad in the background laughing. Someone has captioned it, "Best stepdad ever, look at that smile." My stomach flips because they did not see what happened after. Another notification pops up from my aunt, the nice one. She sends a long text about how proud everyone is of him. She tells me he called when he got home and sounded crushed. Her words slide from concern into guilt without even pausing. You know he has always treated you like his own, right? I stare at the screen until the letters blur a little. The story they tell sounds so simple from the outside. Man steps up, girl gets rescued, everyone claps, roll credits. In that version of things, there is no space for my choice. There is only one acceptable way to say thank you. My fiancé calls and the name fills the display. I answer on the second ring and lean against the wall. I heard your stepdad took off pretty fast after rehearsal. His voice is careful, like he is tiptoeing through a minefield. Are you holding up or are you about to explode? I am somewhere between numb and furious, I admit with a snort. He acted like I stabbed him in front of a crowd. He has been looking forward to this for a long time, he replies. Not just for the ceremony, for what it means for you too. I am not defending how he handled it, I just get why he is hurt. There it is again, the understanding he gets from everyone. Even my future husband sees him as this devoted figure. He has only ever seen the man who helped with moves. The guy who fixed things at our first apartment without complaint. He has never seen the subtle digs when real dad gets mentioned. I get why he is hurt too, I answer, voice softer now. But every time I tried to talk about this, he brushed me off. He turned it into a joke or said we would figure it out later. I did not know how to make him hear me until tonight. And now all anybody can see is how much I hurt him. There's a pause where I can hear him breathing slowly. I am not going to tell you to change your mind. That is your call, and I will stand with you tomorrow. But if there is anything you want to say to him, say it now. Because once the music starts, you cannot rewind the walk. That line lands heavy because it is the real countdown. Not just to a ceremony, but to a choice about our whole dynamic. If he sits in that front row the way things are now, the picture of him alone will tell its own messy story. And I will have to live with the version everyone else writes. Are you Megan? The voice comes from just behind my shoulder. I look up from my drink and almost drop the cup. A woman stands there with my father's eyes around her face. My brain knows before my mouth catches up and everything tilts. Aunt Lisa, my voice sounds thin like it belongs to a kid. She presses a hand over her mouth and nods fast. Then she reaches for me and pulls me into a tight hug. I stand there stiff for a second, then cling back harder. My heart races because this is not a casual coincidence. When she lets go, her eyes shine like she has been crying already. I recognized you right away, you look so much like him. My stomach clenches at the word him even before she says it. How is your dad? Has he called lately? The question comes out like she already knows the answer is ugly. I feel my shoulders rise without thinking, a reflex I know well. We do not talk, I say and take a long sip. I have not seen him since I was a kid. That is what happens when someone bails, I toss it out flat. It is the same line I have used my whole life, automatic. Her face changes so fast the room feels off balance. Bails, she repeats it slow like the word tastes wrong. What exactly did your mom tell you about all that? Heat crawls up my neck because suddenly I am on a witness stand. I shrug hard, trying to sound casual when I feel anything but that he walked out and never really looked back. That he did not send anything, did not try much. That it was better for everyone when he left anyway. The story spills out clipped, the version I have memorized. I expect sympathy, maybe anger toward him, the usual. Instead, she lets out this short, shocked breath and pulls her chair closer. No, she says, and her hand actually shakes on the table. That is not what happened at all, not from where we stood. My chest tightens because this is not how these conversations go. She digs into her bag and starts searching like she lost something vital. Hold on, I kept everything, I knew this day might come. Her phone comes out, she swipes, then taps through screens. I watch her face more than the screen, watch her jaw clench. Finally, she turns the phone toward me and nudges it closer. Read these and tell me if this looks like someone who bylaid. The first thing I see is my own name in a long thread. He has a contact picture I do not recognize, a younger me. Message after message sits stacked with no replies. He asks how school is going, sends birthday wishes, offers visits. My pulse pounds in my ears so loud I almost miss the words. Do you think she got any of this? Her voice is barely above a whisper. He sent them to your mom, to your house, everywhere he could. I scroll higher and see messages from when I was barely a teenager. He begs for any update, even a school photo, anything. Screenshots of mailed letters and tracking numbers fill the screen. One message is burned into my brain the second I see it. She tells me Megan is better off without me, but I know my kid. She might be angry, but I know she deserves the choice. There is a picture attached, a boxed gift with my name on it. My hands start to shake so much I have to set the phone down. He never came to anything, I hear myself saying, almost robotic. Concerts, games, nothing, not once after he left. She shakes her head hard, eyes wide like I am speaking nonsense. He was not allowed to, honey, he tried and got blocked every time. He would call me sobbing because some man told him to stay away. The word man slams into me like a truck I did not see. You mean my stepdad? The question scrapes coming out. She nods immediately, no confusion at all on her face. He told your dad to back off, said he was confusing you. He said you were happy now and visits would just stir everything. I sit back and it feels like the chair moved under me. I remember arguments behind closed doors when I was younger. Raised voices, my name thrown around, then silence around dinner. Every time I asked what it was about, they called it adult stuff. Now pieces shift in my head and click into new positions. Why did no one tell me any of this? My throat feels raw. Why did he not come find me on his own if he cared? He tried, she answers and pulls up another set of messages. Court dates, lawyer names, all the things no one ever showed me. He got told you did not want him, that you refused visits. The word refused hits deeper than anything else. Somewhere out there my dad thinks I shut him out on purpose. All those years I thought he vanished because I was not worth it. At the exact same time he thought I was slamming the door. Two completely different movies playing from the same script. How do you even know all this? I ask, almost desperate. Because he called me after every hearing, she says quietly. He talked about you constantly, more than anything in his life. He showed me copies of letters that came back unopened. He swore he heard you crying once when your mom hung up. That last part makes my chest ache so sharply I wince. I remember one night when I picked up the phone by accident. A man's voice said my name and sounded startled and hopeful. My mom snatched the receiver from me and ended the call. She told me it was a wrong number and I believed her. I thought he just stopped, I whisper more to myself. I thought he let me go because I was easier to forget. You were never easy to forget for him, she answers firmly. He kept a box with your drawings, your old school programs. He showed it to everyone like a brag board, like proof. The idea of him carrying that box around twists my stomach. The man I turned into a villain in my head now looks different. Not perfect, not spotless, just desperate and shut out. While I was busy hating him, someone else was controlling access. Someone who now wants to be front and center at my wedding. Where is he now? I ask, my voice steadier than I feel. She looks down for a moment, thumb rubbing the phone edge. He lives about an hour from here, stays pretty quiet. He has not reached out lately because he thinks it hurts you. He told me he would wait until you wanted contact. I laugh once, a broken sound I barely recognize. He thinks staying away is helping me. That is insane. Everything got twisted, she agrees, nodding slowly. Your mom protected her version of events, I will say that much. And your stepdad liked being the only dad in the story. The phrase only dad makes my jaw tighten hard. I replay moments where my stepdad corrected people. Anytime someone called him my stepdad, he would flinch. He always corrected them to just dad, always a little too fast. At the time I thought it was sweet, now I am not so sure. Did my dad know I was getting married? I ask suddenly. The question jumps out before I know I will ask it. Her eyebrows pull together, and she shakes her head once. I did not even know until today, she admits softly. If he knew, he would have been pacing the walls about it. Something in me sags with relief and anger at the same time. Relief that he is not sitting somewhere waiting for an invitation. Anger that he did not even get the chance to worry about that. The information got trapped somewhere between households, held by people who now claim every shred of credit for raising me. I push the phone back toward her and rub my eyes hard. I do not even know what to do with this right now. I am supposed to marry someone in a few months. And I just found out half my childhood story was edited. My voice cracks on that last word because it feels exactly like that. You do not have to decide everything today, she says gently. I just could not stand the thought of you never seeing this. She locks the phone and tucks it away like it might explode. If you want to talk to him, I can give you his number. If you do not, I will respect that, but at least it is your choice. Choice, that word sits heavy and sharp on my tongue. So many things in my life felt decided around me, not with me. School changes, custody schedules, holiday plans, all of it. Now here is this number she is offering like a live wire. I nod slowly because pretending I do not want it would be a lie. Text it to me, I say, sliding my phone across. I cannot promise I will call today, but I want it. Her face softens with something like relief, almost a smile. That is all I hoped for, she answers, tapping in the contact. He loves you, even if everything went sideways along the way. On the drive home, my hands will not stay still on the wheel. Every red light feels like an invitation to turn around. I could go right now and show up at his front door. I could knock and watch his face when he sees me groan. The thought thrills and terrifies me in equal measure. Instead, I pull into my usual spot and just sit in the car. My phone buzzes with a new message from an unknown number. Aunt Lisa has forwarded his contact and a short line. Whatever you choose, it is not your fault this got broken. I stare at the words until my eyes sting and blur. I open the contact and stare at his name on my screen. For a second, my thumb hovers over the call button. I picture him picking up, voice older but familiar somehow. I picture myself freezing, not knowing what to say. I lock the phone before I do something I cannot undo. Inside, the house sounds normal, which feels wrong. TV noise, clinking dishes, the usual background soundtrack. My mom is at the sink rinsing something, back turned. She does not notice me at first, which gives me time. Time to decide how much of this I want to reveal tonight. Ran into Aunt Lisa, I say, dropping my keys a bit too loud. She flinches and glances over her shoulder, eyes narrowing. Oh, I have not seen her in a long time, she says flatly. Her mouth tightens like the name alone bothers her. Did she tell you about your father's latest drama? That question answers something all by itself. She knows he has been trying, she knows more than she admits. She showed me messages, I reply, watching her shoulders freeze. She showed me proof he wanted to see me for years. My voice is steady in a way that feels new and dangerous. For a long moment she does not turn around at all. The water runs over her hands and down the drain. Then she twists the faucet off and faces me slowly. There is a reason I kept you away from that man. Her tone is sharp, defensive, like we are back in court. You told me he vanished, I fire back without blinking. You told me he did not bother much after he left. My heartbeat slams against my ribs, but I cannot stop. You never said he was asking for visits nonstop. You never said he was sending things that never reached me. Her jaw works as she grips the sink edge behind her. I did what I had to do to give you a stable life. He brought nothing but chaos when he was around us. He wanted to drag you back into that mess constantly. I protected you from more disappointment, whether you see it or not. It is the first time she has admitted anything close to that. Not the whole truth, but a crack in the version she fed me. In my stepdad, I ask, forcing the words out slow. Did he tell my father to stay away from me? Did he enjoy being the only one who got to play dad? The muscle in her cheek jumps as she clenches her teeth. He stepped up when your father would not, end of story. He watched you cry when that man missed birthdays. He swore he would not let him hurt you again. So yes, he told him to back off for your sake. Hearing it said out loud snapped something inside me. This is not just miscommunication anymore, this is active. They chose for me, spoke for me, rewrote my feelings. They built this whole narrative where he was the permanent Roman 6 lane, and any option that did not fit that got erased quietly. I stand there in the doorway with my hands curled tight. I get that you were angry with him, I say slowly. I get that he hurt you, I am not denying that. But you never gave me a say in whether he hurt me. You just decided I was better off without even knowing. She opens her mouth, then closes it again, eyes bright. You were a child, you did not know what you needed. You think you would have chosen well at 8 years old. Her voice rises like she is arguing for a verdict. You would have run straight back to him and gotten crushed. She might be right about that, and that is the worst part. I would have picked him every time if I had the chance. Maybe I would have ended up disappointed anyway, maybe not. I will never know, because they never let that version happen. They locked that door when I was small and kept the key. I walk past her without another word and head for my room. My phone is heavy in my pocket with his number inside it. Everything in my life up to this point suddenly feels tilted. College graduations, birthdays, all the milestones with one man in them. Now every memory has a shadow figure I never got to see. Looking back, that day in the coffee shop changed everything quietly. I did not call him that night, I did not call him for months. But the next time my stepdad called himself my only real parent. The next time he acted like he owned my gratitude outright. Something in me had already shifted, even if no one noticed yet. We need to run the aisle, my stepdad announces, tapping the schedule. He spreads the printout on the kitchen table like a game plan. My mom sets down her glass and smiles at him on reflex. Across from them, I feel my jaw lock so hard it aches. He traces the line of the ceremony with one blunt finger. Processional bridesmaids, then me and you, big entrance. He nods at me like we already shook on it years ago. My stomach flips and my throat tries to close at once. I realize this is the moment I have been dodging for months. Actually, the word comes out before I can swallow it. 3 sets of eyes move toward me in slow unison. My fiancé's leg bumps mine under the table, a tiny nudge. I grip my notes tighter so I do not bolt from my chair. I am thinking of doing the walk with somebody else. My stepdad freezes halfway through a satisfied nod. Somebody else, he repeats as if he misheard the language. His hand flattens on the paper like he is holding it steady. Who exactly is somebody else in this situation? The air shifts and I feel sweat start along my neck. My brother, I answer, forcing each word out one by one. I do not add all the reasons lined up behind that choice. The room is silent for a second, like they lost sound. My mom blinks twice and reaches for her water automatically. My stepdad lets out a short laugh that never reaches his eyes. You are overwhelmed, he waves the comment away with a flick. This is just nerves talking, you will want me that morning. He turns back to the paper like we are done with that topic. I feel anger shove through the fear hard enough to sting. I am not panicking, I am telling you what I want. He looks up again, slower this time, eyebrows lifting. What you want is to pretend this conversation never happened. You are not thinking clearly right now, look at everything. His hand sweeps over the pages, the plans, the notes. None of this happens without me, and we both know it. My fiancé shifts, then leans forward with his elbows on the table. It is still her moment, he says, voice low but firm. I love you and I appreciate what you have done. But the aisle is her call, not a group assignment. My stepdad stares at him like he just committed a crime. So now you are involved in this too, he mutters, lip curling. You have known her, what, a few years at most? I have shown up for her entire life since she was small. You think you get to weigh in on this particular thing. The way he says thing makes it sound like sacred ground. My chest tightens because this is exactly what I expected. The years come out like a weapon every single time. I have no way to counter that without sounding cruel. Not without pulling out truths that would shred everything. Time invested does not equal ownership, I manage, voice shaking. His chair scrapes back a little as he leans toward me. Ownership, he repeats like the word personally insults him. I am not claiming ownership, I am claiming recognition. I poured myself into raising you so you had a chance. You are about to deny that in front of every guest we know. There it is, the social scoreboard again, flashing neon. Not just his feelings, but the opinion of everyone invited. I picture coworkers clapping him on the back after the ceremony. All the posts from relatives about what a great man he is. In that script, me replacing. Gee, him looks like pure betrayal. My mom finally cuts in, fingers pressed hard against her forehead. Can we slow down before this turns into something ugly? She glances between us, searching for a softer angle. What changed, honey? You always pictured him walking with you. Her voice is gentle, but there is a sharp edge beneath it. What changed? A woman in a coffee shop. A phone full of messages I never got to see. A number in my contacts that still makes my palms burn. I swallow all that down because none of it fits on this table. I am not saying he never mattered, I answer carefully. I am saying this step belongs to me and I picked someone. I do not mention the other man I did not invite at all. The one who used to be a ghost and now feels painfully real. All of it tugs at me while I sit here under their stare. My stepdad laughs again, this time with no humor at all. I am the one who taught you to ride a bike. I am the one who dragged you to tutors after school. I am the one who stayed awake until you got home safe. And your big thank you is handing my moment to your brother. His list hits me in waves because none of it is false. He did those things and many more I do not even remember. For years I measured any contact from my father against that list. Guess who always came out looking like the loser? Now that whole metric feels crooked, but the facts remain. I am not erasing what you did, I tell him, voice rough. This does not wipe away anything from when I was little. It is one decision about one piece of one day. That is how it feels to you, he shoots back, eyes narrowed. To me it feels like you are rewriting our entire relationship. My fiancé breathes in sharply and starts to speak, then stops. My mom shoots him a look that warns him to stay out. I suddenly feel like I am being cornered by both of them. Not just about the walk, but about loyalty, about stories. I grip the edge of the table so hard my fingers start to ache. You can still give a speech, I offer, reaching for compromise. You can stand with me while I get ready that morning. You can be in every photograph you want at the reception. The walk is just the walk, it is not the whole bond. The second I say it, I know that argument will not land. He pushes his chair back completely and stands up slowly. The walk is the symbol of everything behind it, he snaps. You are acting like it is some random little logistics change. To me, it is the proof that all those years meant something. You are trading that proof for a cute moment with your brother. The way he reduces my brother to a prop lights me up. My brother who watched me collapse after that coffee shop meeting. My brother who sat on the floor and listened while I ranted. He did not give speeches about sacrifice, he just stayed present. The idea of sharing those first steps with him feels right in my bones. Do not drag my brother like that, I bite out, heat rising. He has picked me up more times than you even notice. You are insulting him to punish me, admit it. My stepdad's jaw tightens as he shakes his head sharply. You are letting him swoop in for glory without doing the work. That line hits a dark, bitter part of me I try to ignore. Because that is exactly how he frames my father too. Someone who wants the emotional headline without the grind. Only now I know the grind was not as one-sided as I thought. Which makes this whole argument feel twisted in a way I cannot untangle. I am not dragging this out all night, my stepdad finally says. He snatches the schedule and folds it with quick, stiff motions. We will revisit this when you are not chasing some fantasy. He walks out of the room without waiting for a reply. His footsteps fade down the hall, leaving my ears ringing. My mom stares at the doorway for a long 3 seconds. Then she turns that stare on me, tired and furious at once. You know he has wanted that walk since you were a teenager. He talked about it after every big milestone you hit. He kept saying, at least I will get that one thing. Something in my chest twists, almost enough to make me fold. I picture him sitting somewhere years ago, talking about that future. Imagining some perfect day where everything is finally simple. No ghosts from the past, no arguments, just pure gratitude. That picture hurts because I cannot live inside it anymore. He wanted that one thing, I say quietly. Then maybe he should not have locked the door on someone else. The words slip out before I can filter them. My mom recoils like I slapped her across the face. She recovers fast, but I saw the flinch. We are not talking about him, she snaps, meaning my father. He chose his path and we dealt with the fallout here. You are not dragging that history into your wedding planning now. Her voice climbs higher with each sentence like a warning. But the history is already tan. Gled in every detail, whether she likes it or not. After she storms off, it is just me and my fiancé at the table. He reaches over and uncurls my fingers from the table edge. You want to walk this back, he asks, eyes searching mine. You can still call this a misunderstanding if you need to. I stare at him like he suggested I grow a second head. I thought you said you had my back, I answer slowly. I do, he replies, squeezing my hand hard. I also know how much fallout you are about to take. I want to make sure you're picking this fight on purpose. He looks scared for me, not of me, and that difference matters. I lived on autopilot for so long, I tell him. Letting other people direct the script and clapping on time. I cannot keep doing that, not with this, not anymore. I am not trying to hurt him for fun, I am just done performing. He nods once, serious, like he recognizes something final in my tone. That night after he leaves, I sit on my bed with my phone. My father's number stares back at me from the screen. My thumb hovers over the text icon as my pulse climbs. It feels like the same kind of threshold as the aisle. Different stakes, same shaky breath before stepping forward. Hi, it is Megan, I type, then delete it twice. I finally send a simple line that sounds less like a kid. Hey, this is Megan, Aunt Lisa gave me your number. The message whooshes off and my heart slams against my ribs. I almost throw the phone across the room just to stop myself looking. 3 minutes later it buzzes and I nearly drop it. Hi Megan, I am really glad you reached out. Short, careful, like he is afraid any extra word might scare me off. We trade a few awkward sentences about work and random things. Neither of us goes near the landmine of the past yet. Then he types, your aunt mentioned something about a wedding. I stare at the line and feel my brain split in half. One half wants to blurt every detail, date, venue, all of it. The other half remembers every fight in my house about him. I end up on some jagged middle ground that hurts anyway. Yeah, I'm getting married this summer, I send back. I add, it is kind of intense around here right now. Dots appear and vanish as he starts and stops typing. Finally, his reply lands, I will not intrude, I just hope it is everything you want. Something in my chest buckles at the word intrude. If things were different, would you want to be there? I type it before my brain can veto the question. There is another long pause where nothing happens. Then his answer shows up in 2 separate messages. Honestly, yes, but I know that might cause trouble for you. He is right. Just imagining him in a pew makes my mother's voice explode in my head. I see my stepdad watching from across the room like a live grenade. Part of me wants to say, come anyway, screw the fallout. The rest of me knows I am not ready to blow the walls that far apart. I do not think it would go well right now, I send. I am still trying to figure out how to handle everything. He responds quickly this time, that is okay, take your time. I am here if you ever want to talk, with or without weddings. I put the phone down and press my palms into my eyes. He is staying out to protect me, while they kept him out to protect themselves. That contrast gnaws at me for days afterward. Every time my stepdad jokes about my backstory in front of people. Every time he reminds folks how he became the dad who stayed. The gap between what he did and how he tells it feels wider. A week before the rehearsal, we tour the venue one last time. My stepdad tags along, more relaxed like nothing happened. The coordinator walks us through the order, efficient and brisk. Now who is escorting the bride down the aisle, she asks. My stepdad lifts his hand half an inch without even looking at me. My brother, I answer louder than I planned. The coordinator clicks her pen, notes it, and keeps moving. My stepdad turns his head slowly, like he misheard the answer. We have not settled that, he says sharply, eyes on her. Yes, I cut in, pulse racing, we have. She backs out of the triangle forming in front of her. I will just mark it as the brother for now, she offers. Y'all can update me if anything changes before Saturday. She walks off toward the front like this is any other dispute. I stand there braced, waiting for the blow that follows. You really want strangers thinking I do not count, he demands. He steps closer, voice low but packed with hurt. That I stood in that role all these years for nothing. That some kid who shows up when it is convenient outranks me. He gestures toward the end of the aisle like it is a contested throne. It is not about who counts, I answer, throat tight. It is about who shares that first walk with me now. I know you see that as the same thing, but I do not. I am allowed to separate them even if it disappoints you. My hands are shaking, but I keep them at my sides. You are punishing me for things you barely understand, he says. You heard some twisted story from people who hate me. And now suddenly, I am the villain who stole your life. He looks at me like I am someone entirely new and untrustworthy. That is what this really is about, not some cute sibling moment. There it is, dragged into the open despite my efforts. He knows I know more than I used to, even without specifics. The gatekeeping, the calls, the letters, all the parts he buried. I do not throw details at him, I do not quote any receipts. I just hold his gaze and let the silence say the rest. I am not calling you a villain, I answer after a long beat. I am saying you made choices about my life without asking me. And I am done letting those choices dictate every milestone. This is the first time I am drawing a line and keeping it. Even as I speak, some small, scared part of me begs me to stop. My stepdad blinks slow, like the words do not compute. After everything I did, you owe me more than this. You owe me that walk at the very least. He is not bargaining anymore, he is laying down a bill. In that moment, the aisle stops being sentimental and turns into a boundary. I realize if I give it to him now, it will not end there. Every future choice will come with the same invoice attached. Grandkids, holidays, houses, all of it measured in old sacrifices. This is the only time I can pick my own center without lying. I feel my voice steady in a way it never has with him. I do not owe you that, I say clear and quiet. I am grateful for plenty and I resent plenty, both are true. But gratitude does not make me your prop at my own wedding. You being hurt does not automatically make me wrong. He stares at me like he has never seen me before in his life. The coordinator calls my name from the front of the hall. She wants to know about music and timing and other basics. Normal questions for a normal ceremony in a normal family. I answer her while my heart hammers and my palms stay wet. Because I know this walk will not be normal for any of us now. Your stepdad's here. My brother pokes his head into the bridal suite. He lifts his eyebrows like a question he does not want to ask. My stomach flips so hard I grab the back of the chair. I have imagined this moment all week and still feel blindsided. Is he normal mad or nuclear mad? My voice comes out thin. My brother walks in and shuts the door with his heel. He looks controlled, he answers, rubbing his jaw once. Stayed in the lobby, did not try to talk to anyone. Controlled for him could mean anything from sulking to explosion. The coordinator knocks twice and leans inside without waiting. We are lining up now, 5 minutes until processional. She gives me a bright practice smile that does not reach her eyes. Brother of the brides, you and the bride are at the end. The word brother lands like a small anchor in my chest. I stand and smooth my dress with shaking hands. In the mirror, I barely recognize the woman staring back. She looks like somebody who has her life together. Underneath, my heart is a mess of guilt and stubbornness. I take a breath so deep it almost hurts and nod. Out in the hallway, people shuffle into position. Bridesmaids whisper, groomsmen fuss with cuffs, everyone buzzes. My mom appears at the far end like a storm cloud. She walks straight toward me, ignoring everyone else around us. Last chance to stop this, she murmurs, stopping inches away. You can still pull him beside you and fix it. She reaches for my wrist, fingers cool and tight. He is sitting out there waiting for you to come to your senses. Her eyes are glossy, but her mouth is set hard. Truth is, I have been waiting for me to cave too. If I change now, I am lying to myself. I keep my voice low so it does not carry. I am not doing that, not even today. She lets go of my wrist like it burned her skin. Then do not cry when he walks out of your life. She moves away before I can answer that. I watch her back straight and rigid as she joins the crowd. My brother slides into place at my left side. You still sure? He asks quietly, eyes on the doorway. Because once we start moving, it is locked in. I know, I whisper, my throat tight and dry. I hook my arm through his and feel him steady. You can let go if you need to, he offers. I can walk you or I can just start you. That option was not in my original plan, but it sits there now. The music begins and the line in front of us starts flowing. One pair after another, they disappear through the open doors. Each step they take brings my turn closer, whether I want it or not. My palms sweat against my bouquet and my brother's sleeve. I am half convinced my knees will fold when they call us. The coordinator gives us a small nod, her headset tilted. Okay. You two go slow and breathe. Real talk, I almost laugh at breathe. Breathing is the one thing I forget every time lately. My brother squeezes my arm once, then we step forward together. The room opens up in front of us, full and buzzing. Everyone stands and twists to look straight at me. I do not stare at faces, I aim at the shape of my fiancée. My brother's stride matches mine, steady and unhurried. Each step feels like I am walking across a decision I cannot undo. We are halfway down when my brother leans closer. You want to do the rest on your own, he murmurs. The question hits me like a sudden gust in the chest. I glance toward the front row where I know my stepdad sits. He watches us stone still, hands locked over his knees. In that split second, I see every version of this moment. One where my stepdad stands here instead, triumphant and glowing. One where my birth father somehow shows up and takes my arm. One where I cancel everything and run out the side door. Instead, I make the choice actually in front of me. I got it from here, I whisper to my brother. He slows, then carefully unhooks his arm from mine. For a breath we stand side by side, not moving. Then he steps off to the left, giving me clear space. The crowd murmurs softly, unsure if this was planned. I walk the last stretch alone, heartbeat in my ears. Every step feels louder without his weight next to mine. I can feel my stepdad's gaze on the side of my face. I do not look at him because I am not that brave. Or maybe that cowardly, depending on how you frame it. At the front, my fiancé reaches out his hand for mine. I grip it like a lifeline and try not to shake. The officiant smiles and says something about love and union. The words roll over me like distant noise through glass. All I can think about is the man sitting 3 seats away. When the officiant asks who supports this union, people answer. There is scattered laughter, a few loud voices, the usual. I hear my mom shout, "We do," a little too forcefully. I do not hear my stepdad at all, and that silence howls. It is a small gap, but I feel it like a missing tooth. We trade vows, rings, all the things we practiced. My eyes blur once and I blame the strains of the song. Out of habit, I almost turn toward where my stepdad sits. I stop myself mid-glance because I know it will wreck me. Instead, I focus on the man in front of me saying I do. When the officiant announces us married, the room erupts. We kiss, we turn, everyone cheers like a movie ending. As we head back up the center, my brother falls in behind us. I finally let my eyes slide over the front row. My stepdad stands clapping mechanically, his face blank and pale. For one dizzy moment our eyes connect across the space. There is hurt, yes, and something like stunned offense. There is also a flicker of something I do not recognize. Not pride, not joy, more like a painful kind of resignation. He looks away first, and it should not matter, but it does. During photos, the coordinator hustles us through combinations. Family here, wedding party there, everyone rotating. When it is time for parents of the bride, she hesitates. "Who am I grabbing for you?" she asks softly near my ear. I know every answer here will slice someone open. Just my mom for that one, I tell her. My voice does not crack, which surprises me. Then we can do a big group with everyone. She nods and moves fast toward my mother. I feel my stepdad's absence in that shot like a hole. He stays on the edge of every frame, always nearby. In one picture, he is adjusting his tie behind us. In another, he is blurred in the background, talking to a cousin. It is like he is haunting the entire album in real time. Present in every moment, yet never where the label says father. During the cocktail hour, he approaches for the first time. I am talking with a friend when his shadow falls between us. Congratulations, he says, voice flat as a table. He leans in and brushes his cheek against mine quickly. It feels like a formal greeting, not a family moment. Thank you for coming, I answer, words stiff in my mouth. I want to say more, but my tongue feels heavy. He studies my face like he is memorizing it for court. Big day, he says slowly, eyes flicking toward my brother. Interesting choice for your escort, but you looked happy enough. Happy enough lands like a quiet dig under the compliment. My friend shifts awkwardly and pretends to need another drink. I hold my ground and meet his stare head on. I was happy, I tell him plain and clear. I meant what I decided last night and the week before. His jaw tightens and releases, like he is chewing arguments. I hope you do not regret cutting me out of that, he says. I do not know how you walk that back later if you do. There is no yelling, just that low warning threaded with hurt. It shakes me more than if he had raised his voice. He drifts away. Why before I can respond, talking to an uncle? I stand there with my heartbeat thudding in my throat. My brother reappears and bumps my shoulder lightly. You need an extraction, he asks, eyes scanning my face. No, I'm good, I lie, and we both know it. When the DJ announces the first dance, everyone circles the floor. We do the couple dance, the cheers, the silly spin. Then the DJ calls for parent dances and my chest clenches. We had changed the schedule, removed anything labeled father. Still, people look around automatically, expecting some moment. The DJ covers smoothly, moving straight to a general slow song. Everybody grab someone you love, he jokes into the mic. Couples drift together, kids jump around the edges, chaos. I feel eyes on me, waiting to see who I choose. My brother steps up and lifts his hand in a wordless offer. We sway in a small circle near the center. He cracks a dumb joke under his breath to make me snort. Even laughing, my eyes keep darting to that front table. My stepdad stays seated, watching the floor with a tight mouth. My mom rubs his shoulder in short, agitated strokes. At one point, he stands like he might walk toward us. He takes a single step, then stops and grabs his drink. Our eyes cross for half a heartbeat through the moving crowd. For a second, I almost lift my hand, almost call him over. Instead, he turns away and talks to a family friend. Much later, when the cake is cut and the room thins, I step outside for air, shoes dangling from my fingers. The night feels cooler than inside, calmer and less crowded. I lean against the side of the building and finally breathe. The door opens behind me and my stepdad walks out. We stand there in an uneasy line, not touching, not speaking. He stares toward the parking lot, I stare at the ground. You look beautiful up there, he says finally, voice quiet. I always knew you would grow into someone strong. Compliment and critique wrapped together like always. Thank you, I manage because anything else feels impossible. He shoves his hands into his pockets and rocks once. I am going to head out early, he adds, eyes still forward. Too much noise in there for me tonight. We both know that is not the noise he means. You are not staying for the send-off, I ask. The question slips out sharper than I intended. He shakes his head and lets out a short breath. I have seen enough for one evening, he answers. Besides, you have your new family to keep entertained. That last line lands heavier than the rest of it. I picture my husband inside, laughing with friends. I picture my father miles away, probably checking his phone. Every man in this mess standing in a different spot. I am stuck in the center, trying not to split apart. I do want you in my life, I blurt, surprising us both. I turn to face him fully for the first time all day. Even if I keep boundaries you do not like. Even if I make choices that hurt your expectations. I am not throwing you away, even if it feels like that. He finally meets my eyes and they are bright and wet. I cannot promise I will believe that anytime soon, he says. You chose the one moment I wanted most and shut me out. Forgiving that is not going to be easy for me. He clears his throat and looks past me again. But you are an adult now, you proved that tonight. The compliment tastes bitter, but there is a sliver of respect. I hope whatever you are chasing is worth losing me over. He pulls his keys from his pocket and steps toward the lot. For a second I think he will hug me, but he does not. I watch his taillights disappear until they turn the corner. Something in my chest drops with them, a heavy quiet space. I stand there barefoot, dress bunched in one hand, phone in the other. A new message pings and I look down out of reflex. It is from my father, the one who stayed away today. Your aunt sent me a picture, his text reads. You looked incredible and I am proud of you. That should feel comforting, and part of me soaks it in. Another part wants to throw the phone and scream. Because he gets to be proud without carrying any of tonight's fallout. I do not answer him right away, I pocket the phone. When I finally go back inside, the room roars again. People pull me into dances, hugs, more congratulations. From the outside, it looks like a perfect chaotic wedding. No one would guess the quiet break that just happened outside. Later, hours later, after the last guest leaves, my husband and I collapse in the hotel room, drained. He falls asleep fast, still in half his formal clothes. I sit in the bathroom with the fan humming overhead. My phone lights up on the counter with a new notification. It is a message from my stepdad, longer than the screen. I open it, already bracing because I know what is coming. He lists every late-night drive, every dollar, every school event. He reminds me of birthdays he organized and jobs he helped me get. He tells me he never asked for much, just that one ceremonial honor. He ends with one line that lodges deep in my ribs. I hope that man you chose over me is worth it. I know he means my father, even though he does not use the word. He means my brother too, and maybe my husband, and maybe myself. He means anyone I picked that was not him in that hallway. I sit there in my dress, makeup smudged, reading it again. Part of me wants to fire back a furious paragraph. Part of me wants to apologize for every wound and call him tomorrow. Part of me wants to block his number and finally sleep. All three parts wrestle while the fan drones and my husband snores softly. In the end, I type one short answer and leave it at that. I am grateful for a lot of what you did, and I also needed to make this choice. I hope one day you can see both. I stare at the bubbles as he starts typing, then stops. No reply comes, and that empty chat window feels louder than any fight. Maybe this is how distance starts, not with screaming but with nothing. Now, weeks later, I scroll through the wedding gallery. In one shot, my brother and I are laughing at the door. In another, I am alone on the path, dress moving around my feet. My stepdad appears in the background of several, never center frame. Every picture is a reminder of the line I drew that day. There is no version of this where someone does not bleed. If I had handed him that role, another part of me would have. The part that finally learned her history and wanted it to matter. The part that did not want her first steps as a wife built on a lie. So I picked myself, maybe for the first time ever, and it cost me. That is why I am here typing this to strangers on the internet. You do not know me, you did not grow up in this tangle. All you see is a woman who refused the man who raised her. Maybe you think I am heartless, maybe you think I am brave. I honestly do not know which one is true, so I am asking you.